Hey friends, my name is Evelyn Joy and welcome back to my garden. This morning I'm not going to water my plants because we had a huge downpour a couple days ago, and so the soil is still moist, so I don't need to water it. This morning the ground is feeling a little wet, so there's some dew on the ground, but I harvested a bunch of small tomatoes last night, and I also worked on this path. Check out this path. So I want to give you a little garden update, a little tour of the garden. It looks like because of the rain we have some weeds popping up. Might pull some weeds, might check some plants, see how they're doing. So come along with me. I had one class, one student no-show this morning, so I'm paid for 2 classes, taught 1 class, and I started working on my out-school stuff. More out-school videos coming soon. All right, let's go. These are my tomato plants. I picked a dozen little tomatoes. I've been wondering lately whether or not I have small tomato plants or whether they're making small tomatoes because they are in a small amount of dirt, because they're in a container. I don't know. Still figuring these things out. Okay? But these are my tomato plants. They're doing well. And over here is my tomatillo plant, and it is doing well as well. I'm gonna pull off some dead leaves here. But for the most part, it is looking very lively, vibrant, and doing well. It's got a couple little insect bites out of some of the leaves, but, oh, and there's a big one. Most of them are doing fine. Is that fly a culprit? Probably not. So yeah, I'm so pleased to see that these are doing well. It looks like my plants that I took out of containers are flourishing well, and my watermelon plant is adapting well to life outside of the container. They're spreading out their little roots, and they are enjoying their time. Exhibit A is small container tomatoes. Exhibit B is now in the ground, formerly small container tomatoes. So we see these tomato plants are branching out, and though they have some dead leaves, they're also growing some new branches and doing very well. So that's good. We're just gonna take the dead leaves off. I'm just gonna take this branch of dead leaves off. There we go. Now, tomato plants, if you prune them and take care of them, they'll flourish more. So they want you to give them haircuts. These tomato plants do. Indeed, indeed. So pulled all of that, stick it over there. This one cantaloupe plant just wants to go all over. It's trying to sneak out of the baby gate over here. Look at this. It's not just gorgeous. That is a cantaloupe. So we have one dead leaf here. So we probably have some other cantaloupe plants around here somewhere developing. Ooh, number 2. We have twins. This is a big one, and this is a medium one. Working on growing. So, pro tip: put your cantaloupes when they come, put them on top of some brick, because that helps them to not go rotten. Here's another one, and it's not on a brick, so I'm actually gonna, wow, these are really growing. Look at that. It looks like a watermelon. Totally looks like a watermelon. But these are actually cantaloupes, unless I'm gonna be surprised and find out instead of cantaloupe I have watermelon. No, it's definitely a cantaloupe. So I've got a bunch of grass growing in here because of the rain. This is my blueberry plant. And the thing with this cantaloupe coming over here is, oh man, it's all the way through there. I'm gonna let it go. The cantaloupe plant, it's okay if it shades. It's okay if it shades the roots and the dirt, but it's not okay if it shades the leaves. So this is so interesting. You see these vines right here? What is this bug? Is that good or bad? I don't know. These vines right here, they're like arms. They hold on so that they can vine out and grow up. But I'm actually gonna make them go down because I don't want them keeping this blueberry plant from getting sunlight. Yeah, you bully plant trying to take all the sunlight away. Oh, good golly. Okay, so this blueberry plant, look, it's getting bullied by my cantaloupe. It is trying to choke that thing out. I really like this blueberry plant. One moment. Okay, I'm gonna let this cantaloupe have this area, this space right here. I'm gonna weed it. I moved my blueberry plant over to where my dead blueberry plant was. I pulled it up. I scooped up all the dirt around it, including all of the roots below it, to make sure that it transfers fine and does not have any sort of trauma. And I'm weeding by hand because I'm a boss. No, just kidding. These are all strawberry plants. Actually, these plants are branching out, and there's grass in here too. These plants multiply so well and branch out so well. And as they multiply, you see these containers over here, these wooden ones? One of these days, one of these is going to be entirely full of strawberries, because as it multiplies over here and outgrows this space, I'm going to prepare one of these areas, and probably that one over there will be full of strawberries, so that I can have a strawberry patch. And as they grow, maybe I'll have 2 in the future, and I'll probably hire the guy that built me these 2 things. I'll probably hire him to build me 2 more as my garden grows. But basically my garden, what it is this year, is probably half of what it'll be next year, because this year is my first time gardening. I am learning what works and what doesn't, what plants are successful. For example, cantaloupe. Oh golly, I just accidentally pulled this strawberry when I was pulling grass. I should pay attention. Cantaloupe is awesome, but it needs more space next year. Okay, probably I could have 1 container and it was just cantaloupe, because this is going all over the place. I spent like $2 on 1 starter plant and it became this. This is probably half of what it will become. Love these bell pepper plants. Okay, let's take a look. It's so exciting seeing bell pepper plants grow. See these little buds and stuff? They're gonna turn into bell peppers. And let me look over here. There's a bell pepper right there. There's a bell pepper over here. You see? So exciting. You know? So it's super exciting to grow bell peppers. So that's one that's like, I deem that successful. I'm pulling this dead leaf off. But something like cauliflower, this is my only successful cauliflower, because this one is dying, that one's fully dead, that one's fully dead. Eggplant, definitely doing it again. Eggplant's looking great, you know? So I'm finding out what works for me and what doesn't. Blueberry plants, I love them. Some of them die, but they last forever. My dad has 20-year-old blueberry plants that just keep producing every year. I want that. I like that. I love that. Oh, check this out. I'm throwing my weeds out of the way. Look, we have a strawberry. Yay, our second successful strawberry ever. So we're gonna set that up there for my kids to check out. So this is carrots. I will definitely do carrots again, but I will not do them in a container. Next time I will do them in the ground. I will spread them out more. I will learn my lesson from this year. This year is my experimental phase, figuring out what works. Marigolds, awesome. Plant marigolds near tomatoes. They keep some of the bugs away. Next year, okay, this is green beans. Next year, I definitely want to do a bunch of green beans and a bunch of peas, but by seed, outside. They need trellises to climb up. They'll produce a lot. I want to do black beans too. Oh, I know I need to weed in here. I'm never going to weed in here. Who am I kidding? It's just a lot of work. Call me lazy. Okay, I also don't like this grass growing up here. Okay. My potato plants are just going to have to deal with grass around them. this right here does not have to deal. I'm gonna pull it. Favoritism in the garden. Let's go over and check out how my squash plants are doing. Those bugs. Those are the ones I've been trying to get a handle on. These bugs are awful. They're trying to kill my plants. I'm not scared of you bugs. I'll get you all of you. Like that. They're trying to kill my plants off. Some bugs are your friends in the garden, some are not. That bug is not my friend. Will all of this rot because of those bugs? I don't know. We're finding out, aren't we? This needs ducked back down into the dirt once again. I don't know. Maybe this whole thing will die at some point. I mean, obviously it will. But let's check what's good. This is good. This right here is now white, so it's ready to be harvested. It's not green anymore. Let me harvest that. Got it. So a lot of this is dying off. Do we see pollination going on, or what bug is that? Yeah, that's pollination going on. Check that out. Okay, that's like a black bumblebee type thing. So a lot of this is dying. Some of it's still alive. Oh, this is the issue. The bugs are getting in the roots of the vines, and then all of this is just gonna die. So anyway, I cut my losses. I've got this one, and I've got another one that's still green that's growing. I'm gonna let it grow and figure out how to cook this. I might be on some of my last squash, and I might just have to cut my losses at some point soon, but I'm thankful for what I have gotten from my squash plants. Had I been an expert gardener, I probably would have gotten more, but I'm thankful for the lessons learned from my squash plants. Will I do squash again? Yes. Will I do it the same way? Probably. Figuring it out as I go along. I like this ledge because I can just sit down and start pulling weeds. Okay, so as I pull weeds, let's talk about these blackberries. I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited about this blackberry plant because this blackberry plant is one of those, kind of like the blueberries, that will not die off this season. It will become a bush. It will continue growing, and it'll grow as high as it wants to, but I'm gonna trim it along this edge up here, and I'm gonna allow the bottoms to grow and just fill up around here. And this is also a blackberry plant and growing much slower, possibly a different kind of blackberry. I bought them at completely different places, but this is super exciting because it's a successful blackberry plant. It will not die. It will continue to grow, and it will eventually have blackberries. It will not have blackberries this season, maybe in 2 years from now, but it's something that will always be with this house and be something extra special for my kids in the future, or whoever lives here's kids in the future, to continuously be able to reap the benefits of. One time there was a lady that had a garden and she planted this, and now this house will forever have tons and tons of blackberries. So right now we don't have blackberries, but it's gonna be a cool thing in the future. When I bought this starter plant from Aldi for $5 or $6, it actually was marked thornless, but it does indeed have thorns. Maybe it meant small thorns, not big thorns. I don't know. Maybe all blackberries have some sort of thorn on them. I don't know. Or perhaps I've been deceived and I bought something that said thornless blackberry. Maybe it'll be a raspberry. Who knows? But something edible's coming from this. For sure, some kind of berry. Probably blackberry. I am working on pulling up all this grass over here. When I created this, I put cardboard. You can see the cardboard here. And the grass behind the cardboard keeps coming up. Hearing lots of sirens in my neighborhood. That means our heroes are doing their job, saving lives and helping people, so that's always good. I'm pulling all of this. I'm trying to pull it up from the okay, over here I had 2 raspberry plants that died because when we built this fence, it no longer got enough sunlight, just shade. So those 2 raspberry plants died. And then, I'm pulling all of that. Then I tried putting some seeds of plants that do well in the shade, like some lettuce. You could do some spinach if I had some spinach seed. That didn't come to fruition at all. Now I'm gonna move over. I love this ledge that I can sit on it to pull weeds. It makes it a lot easier to pull weeds. My weeds in this case are mostly grass. And some people on their lawns, they're so concerned about having green, luscious lawns full of grass. And I just want my grass to go away. My husband would be fine with having an ugly yard if it meant no cutting the grass. It's a lot of work to keep a big yard cut. And he does it on his days off. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about these strawberries. So this kind of strawberry and that kind of strawberry are different kinds, but they're pretty cool. Strawberries like you to pull off the dead leaves so that they can continue to grow more lively leaves. Okay. This, and also all of this, as it grows more, I'm gonna tie it, tie it to here, to the trellis. Just as, see how I've got some yarn on there holding that on. It would be just falling over and not doing so well if it did not have a trellis. These strawberries do not need a trellis, thus why they will probably move. Okay, here's a vision. Eventually I will probably move these strawberries over to one of these containers, and I'll probably have more berry plants over here. I might move my blueberries over here, or I might get some different starter plants of like raspberry or something. But this whole area right here is meant to be the long-term stuff. And maybe eventually I'll have all long-term things and I won't have to keep replanting all the time. But this is a food garden. Whatever I grow, it's not gonna be flowers unless it's like marigolds that are useful flowers, keep bugs away or whatever. But, pulling that up. All in all, this has been a very positive experience growing a garden, you know? It's been a lot of fun. Got a bunch of grass in between here. I'm gonna pull this too. We're gonna do a Zoom class with my friend Danny this morning. Esther has really been enjoying having a teacher, Danny, because she'll do her homework and she'll have me take a picture of it so I can send it to her teacher. There's something special about having a teacher, even when you're homeschooling, having somebody besides your mom to send your work to. It's a lot of fun for them. They like doing out-school classes with Danny and out-school classes in general with friends and stuff, and I'm looking into teaching some out-school classes as well. Okay, I'm seeing that this is starting to fall over. Maybe I should put it deeper into the ground. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that helps. It doesn't hurt it. I'm using this baby gate as like a trellis. There we go. Okay, this is a lemon balm plant. This is a blueberry plant. That's a blueberry plant. I might end up moving some of these around and moving that blueberry plant over. We shall see. Okay, I decided spur of the moment to move this big blueberry plant over here. The little blueberry plant I moved here, and the lemon balm I moved here. So I moved them around. This is gonna give space for this plant to vine out, take over right here if it wants to, you know? I'm gonna let it. I'm thankful I moved that blueberry plant. Will I eventually move this blueberry plant? Perhaps. We will see. Oh, I've done some unexpected moving and changing this morning. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye! Gardener hands.